Hello, good evening, and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingley Tim Hokip bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include Moree Subdivisional District Hospital lacks necessary equipment and medicines. Chief Justice visits relief camps in Kangpopi District, interacted with inmates of the camps. News in details. Last 20 February 2024, the Chief Medical Officer of Moree Subdivision District Hospital cum Primary Health Center meets the media at around 11 a.m. in the hospital premises. The Chief Medical Officer says that since Moree is a border town, we have lots of patients every day, and with the help of Christian NGOs, we were able to overcome the situations in 2023. But for the present year 2024, all vehicles transporting medications and hospital equipments have been stuck at Kakching Lamkhai since the Maytay stops the vehicles transporting the hospital necessary equipments and medications that are to be brought to Moree that had caused great hardships for the doctors and patients as well. We are at that time of the year when seasons are changing from winter to summer, and many flus and sickness are prevalent during this time of the year, raising the number of patients to the maximum. It is foreseen that the citizens of Moree will encounter great medical hardships in the near future, as the stocks of medicines are already used up, but none had been brought in due to the Maytay's cruel behaviors. He urged the CSO leaders to seek solution for this matter in the earliest possible. Dr. Samte and staff nurse Chongnyo Hokip also told the media that we had asked for additional doctors from the town to ITLF and also update with the crisis the health department is facing, like lack of hospital equipments and medications, but due to various situations, none of the requests had been granted so far. However, few appendix emergency operations had been carried out successfully due to God's grace besides the situation we are in, they added. Chongboy Haukib is the only staff nurse who reported for work diligently since the outbreak of the conflict in Moree town on the 23rd of September 2023. The public greatly praised and honored her for her devotion and dedication to her work.
Staff avat pen hi tu masanga avat na aji pen hi amo hi lo ham ai lo le gal zama kichat ji an zam do ham na ti jong chum the hi ji sun na
gal zama kichat zam che ya le me hi cho le tu ti ta hi pum thi lo ta ne o thing ha mi yin yong zam mo wa a kin un ko wa nga hung thi lo mi pha ho mo bi
do ai hung wi tam mo
ta hung nai lo tu nai ni ti ko yin cha abong hat chun ông lu wang chun substitute cho pinani ai wang chong chu khutita regular thelo amo kala yong complain hong jung jing ya tu ni hi staff permanent staff yo si ai lo this is ki kuwa ipilwa farm 2023 sang 2024 ai ai ma ki function thiran ti in tu jung ya face problem ki body ki pm tale lula ma mai ki ne ye chukak chinglam pa ko I ma cha ki pulu thei loi ta ye chun lula hi tu no hin NGO alo CSO alo le oi social worker ho sa na mo re adi hin lula yo hi 2024 to March April le ta mong ki pen ki de ta I chai ho lungdon ma mai ta ne hi ki tiram ti hin isun CSO lam ka ho non ho sa de na ki pa amin te jo government lang ai macha hu ki ne be se loi ta ni lo le chung cha ai Moree hi ho na khat chu border town ni hin ipi thu no la yong le patient chu dim jing jing ni patient attendant ni bana le doctor nurse staff ratio te bana le pum ba loi ta 24 hours duty ji hin ye chun PhD ki ba mai to hi SDC yong function loi na cha ki tong ko mai tai ha na bang chu service pi bang chu ha thu ni
ba tuan se a chu 2023 chu mi ki thu pinazal ga kai ham hin na tu kum hi hung ha samomong dan hin na
tu lu hi tu jan ya hi ma cha response tu lo hi yen ni ti jam
tu hi kalchin lam kha padai ma hung lu thelo phada hi tu nang ngai tu da na hi lam kalang a hi tan na e hodinga lifeline hi enjoy staff na se hong chu ai mi ho apot do hong chu CSO ho lam kai nan adia lam kalanga KIC ai do le kukin piti ta te mo khun panin lau hen lang hinung so le tin de am
ka de hi su ti de hi cha cha personal ta no ti ban ta tu na mi tin ko hi ya no ma ke po ne pan kina doctor yo hi the ya le ai mi hi ni thum be
to ai panang to ho milun boda ni chona
lun bo hi ta he ki choi le
nang choi le
la ki na
district at mo pu ni za na
ai ba nga cho ka le CMO ba so OPD ki to na duty ki po eta
okay
ja le na ko sa na ya la o milun nga chang sa ka la mai apu ne ki ju ba na oi pusan te pharmacist pa no yo sa na pa ngai staff no on si ba tu sen ya hi ka hin lo wa he jo sa da lang cho ka pu hi 2024 sunga hi yu ti da na tu ni ga meeting mo na pu le
to chungai chat pen chu lo le ai hi han lang staff
to doctor
doctor ho hi no ho nang pa la ima chi thelo ta ja chana amy ti taute adi sara kukin p hen lang KIC hen lang he chi langa CSO hoi jong le hung pang hen lang he chi hoi tan ran leu hen na se ma banga adamo asan ni si adim jing hin na lo le ai ke wat staff ke wat na doctor ke wat hin he chi CSO hon panin lau hen lang he chi la hi hin pan piu hen hoi tan ke ran thele thi de pen wi chuna pa
me na ju ju
nya hinge ki pam
The Chief Justice of the High Court of Manipur, Siddharth Mridal, visited 3 relief camps in Kangpopi district and interacted with displaced people yesterday. The Chief Justice visited El Hangnom Pai Relief Camp, Motbung High School Relief Camp, and Damdei Talaulong Relief Camp. The Chief Justice team also provided relief materials, including sports materials, to the inmates of the relief camps, while the Chief Justice was also seen distributing sweets to the displaced children. Chief Justice Siddharth Mridal was accompanied by Justice Golmay Gaipul Sillu, Member Secretary, Alek Muiva, Manipur State Legal Services Authority, Subham Vasis, Joint Registrar, Hilson Angam, Deputy Registrar, Letho Kipgan, District and Session Judge, Senapati, Rabat Hungdim, Judicial Magistrate First Class, Kangpokpi, Kim Nainga Kipgan, Secretary, District Legal Services Authority, Senapati, bar members of all Tribal Lawyers Association, ATLAM, and bar members from Senapati and Kangpokpi. Speaking to the media, Chief Justice Siddharth Mridal said that to familiarize ourselves with the problems that are being faced by the displaced people in the relief camps in Manipur and to supplement the efforts being made by the government in providing them with relief, their needs and requirements are our own main purposes for visiting the relief camps. Principally, we understand every displaced person wants to go home, and in the meantime, they want livelihoods. There are also financial problems in paying their children's tuition fees in private schools, while there are also some issues related to the needs of young children and elderly persons in the relief camps, highlighted the Chief Justice. He continued that whatever we can do from our own sources, we are looking into it with the help of the bar and voluntary contribution by members of the bar, not only from Manipur, but also outside as well. He further said that so far we have not been able to visit all the relief camps which we would like to do, but we are trying to reach as many displaced people as we can. The Chief Justice was seen patiently interacting and having together with displaced persons at El Hangnom Pai Relief Camp amid a heavy shower which was immensely laundered by the inmates. SP Kangpokpi Manos Prabhakar, IPS, presented a Thado Kuki traditional shawl to the Chief Justice while welcoming him at El Hangnom Pai Relief Camps, while ADC Kangpokpi SDOs and concerned nodal officers were also present during the Chief Justice visit to the 3 relief camps.
Of the visit, as I've been saying, is to acquaint ourselves with the problems that are being faced by all the displaced people in Manipur, and to supplement the efforts being made by the government in providing them with relief, with whatever it is their needs, their requirements. Principally, as we've understood, everybody wants to go home, and in the meantime, they want a means of livelihood. They have the bare essentials, but people can't live by food alone. They need employment. They need livelihood. They need to make sure that they can provide for their children. And there are problems in relation to the fee to be paid to private schools, for which they need a source of livelihood. Those are principally the issues. And there are some issues with regard to the needs of young children or elderly persons. We are looking into that. Whatever we can do from our own sources with the help of the bar and voluntary contributions by members of the bar, not just from Manipur, from outside as well, we've been able to provide them with some relief. The manner in which we go about doing this is we ask our volunteers in all these camps to tell us what their requirements are. And these are usually small items, something like diapers or, milk powder for children. And that's what we've been trying to assess what their requirements are and to provide them with all of that to the best of our ability. And this is all from our private sources. My sister and brother judges on the bench have contributed. Members of the bar everywhere have contributed. And so far, I think we haven't been able to visit all the relief camps, which we would like to do. But we are trying to reach as many people as we can.
The Kuki in Manipur takes strong exception of the illegal occupation and confiscation of homes and properties belonging to the Kukis who were forcibly displaced from their residence in Imphal Valley. In a press statement, the Kuki in Manipur stated that it has come to our own attention that these properties are now under the control of Valley-based insurgent groups, VBIGs, including the Arambay Tingle faction, and are being utilized as operating centers for anti-national activities such as looting and killing within the Valley, and for the ongoing attacks on the Kukis in the Meitei Kuki border areas. Regarding the issue of homes and properties of displaced persons, the Supreme Court issued a direction on September 25, 2023, instructing the government of Manipur to safeguard these assets. This directive aimed to protect those affected by ethnic violence in Manipur since May 3, 2023. However, the blatant disregard for the Supreme Court's directive is a clear indication of the breakdown of constitutional mechanism within the Manipur state. Despite the failure of the Manipur state government and the overall collapse of the state governance, it is deeply troubling that such unlawful actions continue to occur under the watch of central security forces. Similarly, it is profoundly concerning that the anti-national leadership of Manipur state and the majoritarian persecution continue to present the government of India. The press further says, despite the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's noble call for one earth, one family, one future, it is ironic that Manipur remains deeply fragmented due to the indecision of the central government to effectively mitigate the grave issue of the human rights crisis in Manipur. This situation highlights a serious breach of legal and moral obligation of the government of India and underscores the urgent need for accountability and adherence to the rule of law. The failure to address these violations not only perpetuates injustice but also undermines the trust of the people in governmental institutions and the justice system. It is imperative that swift and decisive action be taken to rectify these injustices and uphold the rights and dignity of all citizens, regardless of the majority or minority, and without succumbing to the hunger for political gains, added the release. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, writes to Amit Shah, Union Home Minister, Government of India, New Delhi, and requests him for intervention in the transfer of Kuki-Zo police personnel. In its letter, the ITLF wrote, the violence in Manipur led to a mass exchange of population on ethnic lines, leading to a complete physical separation of communities. Thousands of Kuki-Zo tribals recall how they barely survived being lynched by mobs in the state capital and adjoining valley areas as they fled to army camps or to the jungle to seek safety. The unlucky ones were lynched on the streets or in their homes by merciless mobs led by the militant Meitei groups like Arambay Tinggol and Meitei Lipun. The letter further said that central and state security forces belonging to the Kuki-Zo community were not safe either. This resulted in all tribal police personnel being evacuated to tribal districts. An incident where 3 tribal security personnel who were trying to report for duty were waylaid by a Meitei mob in Moirang and were beaten up mercilessly before being rescued by central security forces serve as a reminder of the danger faced by the Kuki-Zo community. This is why the recent order by Manipur's Director General of Police, order number E/37/18/2021, PHQ ADM Part 3/2049, which ordered the immediate transfer of more than 100 Kuki-Zo tribal police personnel to Meitei majority areas is unacceptable. It requires them to travel to Meitei districts and, if they survive the journey, be stationed with mostly Meitei police personnel. In other words, this is a death sentence as the government cannot guarantee their safety. The order is clearly a ploy by the communal state government to target Kuki-Zo police personnel as they will not be able to report for duty in Meitei areas. Therefore, the ITLF humbly requests your office to immediately intervene to stop this discriminatory order before disciplinary action is taken against Kuki-Zo tribal police personnel, added the letter. The community school organized by the Kuki student organization Chorochandpur for the downtrodden student sections of the society who are innocent victims of war will open the first schooling day on 1st March 2024. The organization arranged schooling for class preparatory till class 6. Tin Jose Haukip, headmaster of the community school, reports that 90% of the students who seek admission are the native residents of the town who cannot afford education due to poverty. The KSO Community School gives out free uniforms and books for the admitted students. The syllabus is based on Sana Leibak Manipur State Education Board syllabus, and we will impart quality education for the students, added the headmaster. On February 24 at 11 a.m. sharp, there will be selection of teachers for the school, and interested candidates are requested to bring their documents to prove their qualifications and sit an interview. The government of Manipur asks the central government to renounce the suspension of operation that had been agreed upon by the various underground groups belonging to the hills, blaming them to have broken the ground rules. Due to the Meitei false information to the center, leading them to believe that foreign armed militants can possibly cross the border to help the Kukis in the present conflict, the Ministry of Home Affairs had scrapped off the free movement regime and had initiated the Indo-Myanmar border fencing. After scrapping off the FMR, we are wondering as to how the center will deal with the SOO agreement. It is also suspected that the government might have a say regarding the SOO within February 2024. The government had not taken steps towards bringing the 9 long months conflict to an end, but making it worse by their biased actions like scrapping off FMR and border fencing, which culminated the sufferings of the Kuki-Zo tribals. As agreed in the SOO, the underground parties who signed the agreement were to not leave their designated camps and their weapons to be locked inside a room. But in the present conflict, the underground groups of the Kuki joins the volunteers to fight against the Maydays, reported the Maydays to the Central, and asked the Central to renounce the SOO agreement. The groups who signed the SOO agreement were Kuki National Organization, KNO, United People's Front UPF, and 24 others who are branched down from these two main organizations, and the agreement had been signed as the central government movement to bring peace in the northern eastern regions of India. The Lok Sabha elections is drawing near, but solution had not been brought upon Manipur in regards to these 200 company, 2,000 security personnel of Central Armed Police Forces, Army 175 column, and huge number of Assam rifles had been stationed in various parts of the state, say Kuldeep Singh, security advisor to Manipur government. In regards to the conflict between the Kuki and Meitei at Manipur, the center interlocutors calls for meeting, he added. 19-year-old Sekuchon Haukip of Gunpai village in the Kangpopi district of Manipur is preparing for his 12th grade exam in a massive bunker. 19-year-old Sekuchon Haukip of Gunpai village in the Kangpopi district of Manipur is preparing for his 12th grade exams in a massive bunker. He hopes to play football and represent India internationally. He stands in front of his duty post in Paileng Mall Post. Sekuchon, who is also preparing for his board exams, keeps a single-barrel gun beside his books as a constant reminder of his primary duty. Amidst the challenges, he remains hopeful for an end to the violence affecting Manipur. Sekuchon is not fighting this battle alone. Sekuchon stated that in addition to fighting on the front lines, about 60 other students are getting ready for the board exams. Quite upbeat about his goals, Sekuchon continues further that his aspiration and goals can never come before his duty to protect his people in the ongoing violence while stationed inside a bunker, protecting his land from the front line. Despite the situation not being overly tense, Sekuchon emphasizes that the importance of their duty to protect their people. Simultaneously, he and several other students are preparing for the exams from bunkers. A 19-year-old football enthusiast fondly recalls his childhood days with his friends from the Meitei community. The young lad lost contact with his friends following the violent events that transpired on May 3, 2023. Despite the circumstances, he remains hopeful of reuniting with his old companions. He reminisces about his high school days. I had 5 friends from the Meitei community. We studied together from class 3 to class 10. Robert and Elvis were some of my friends whose names I remember. He expressed that he missed them and had kept in touch through Facebook. However, following the violent incidents, they lost contact. Sekuchon shared these sentiments in a subdued tone while speaking to India Today Notice. Sekuchon, a young Indian, had publicly shared his wish for an end to violence, stating that it hinders his ability to focus on his dreams. He expressed his ambition to become a footballer and make his parents proud. Amidst ongoing unrest, he voiced concerns about potentially losing his land if he were to leave. He stressed the importance of having a place to return to once the violence ceases. Despite the turmoil, Sekuchon remains hopeful of achieving his dreams, returning home, and contributing to India's pride as a footballer. Sekuchon's home is located 3 to 4 kilometers away from his bunker, and he reports being able to hear gunfire during incidents of violence. The ongoing conflicts in Manipur continues to cause distress among students preparing for their class 10 and 12 board exams, which started on February 21. The situation is particularly challenging for those displaced by the ethnic clash between the Meitei and Kuki-Zo communities living in relief camps under the constant threat of violence with limited resources has heightened the anxiety of these students. The conflict, which broke in May 2023, dealt a significant blow to the state's education system, with schools remaining closed for prolonged periods. Consequently, students lost a significant portion of their academic year and had to self-study. The government's recent statistics reveal the devastating effects on violence on young lives. This year, 38,127 students are set to appear for the Class 10 board exams. This number is composed of 28,477 students from private schools, 8,130 from government schools, and 1,520 from aided schools. The Board of Secondary Education Manipur (BSEM) reported a decrease of 1,637 students compared to the 2022-2023 Class 10 board exams. For the Class 12 board exams, a total of 28,000 students will take the test, marking the end of their school education. The unending violence has not just affected the displaced students, it weighs heavily on all those belonging to the Kuki-Zog communities spread across the hill areas. The disturbance of civil life has made it hard for students to focus on preparing for the upcoming examinations. On May 3, 2023, ethnic violence led to a mass displacement of students from the afflicted regions to safer areas. Unfortunately, many students lost their crucial documents amid the chaos, further exacerbating their difficulties. This issue is particularly significant for those students who are scheduled to take their board exams in 2024, as they now face challenges in seeking admission in schools and colleges. Persistent pre-monsoon rainfall over the last 2 days triggered landslides, blocking a significant stretch of National Highway 37, the Imphal-Silchar Road via Jiribam District Headquarters in Manipur, officials confirm. The Nungdalal area on National Highway 37, situated in Noney District of Manipur, witnessed disruption in traffic flow, leaving approximately 100 laden trucks stranded since Friday, February 23 morning. Responding swiftly, a team from the Noney District Administration rushed to the landslide-affected sites, initiating debris clearance operations employing heavy machinery. Erratic power supply plagues Noney District Headquarters amid continuous light to heavy rainfall across Manipur for the past 2 days, with the Meteorological Department forecasting further precipitation until Sunday. Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity, COCOMI, insisted that the upcoming Manipur Legislative Assembly session should take an unanimous decision on implementation of National Register of Citizens (NRC) in the state. The budget session of the Manipur Legislative Assembly, which will have 5 sittings, is scheduled to commence from February 28. COCOMI further demanded the session to discuss the violation of the ground rules of suspension of operation by the Kuki-based militant groups and take a concrete decision to abrogate the truce. The resolutions to be passed by the Assembly should be forwarded to the Center for Early Implementation, said COCOMI coordinator Thokchom Somorendro, while addressing a press conference at each office in Imphal today. While demanding full-fledged implementation of the NRC in the state, he said that the Central had already announced the introduction of NRC in the state. However, the same is yet to be implemented on the ground till date, he added. Regarding the demand for abrogation of the suspension of Operation Truce with the Kuki-based militant groups, Somorendro alleges that rampant violation of the ground rules of the SOO truce was one of the main factors behind the ongoing turmoil in the state. Bharat Rashtra Samiti MLA Lasya Nandita died today in a road accident in Hyderabad. The 37-year-old, who was the first-time MLA, suffered serious injuries after her vehicle lost control and collided with the road divider. Lasya Nandita was rushed to the hospital immediately after the accident and later died at the hospital. The driver involved in the crash is reported to be critically injured and is currently receiving medical treatment. As per NDTV, just 10 days ago, Lasya had survived another accident in Narkatpally where she sustained minor injuries. On February 13, while she was on her way to Nalgonda to attend a rally by the Chief Minister, an accident occurred resulting in the death of her home guard. Lasya Nandita, a prominent figure in the political landscape, had previously served as a corporator from Kavadiguda since 2016. Born in 1986 in Hyderabad, Lasya Nandita made her foray into politics around a decade ago. She served as a corporator in the Kavadiguda ward before being elected as MLA from Secunderabad Cantonment in the 2023 Telangana Assembly elections. Senior BRS leader K.T. Rama Rao took to X to express his condolences at Nandita's sudden death. The driver involved in the crash is reportedly to be critically injured and is currently receiving medical treatment. After her father G. Sanyana's death last year, Lasya was entrusted with the responsibility of caring forward his legacy. In the November 2023 elections, she secured a victory after being nominated as the party's candidate. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.